Welcome to another edition of the Mo Show Live, everybody. Happy New Year. We're back. 2025 is here. And I don't know where 2024 went, but 2025 is here and we're off and running. And as we're filming this show, we got Snowmageddon of 2025 is upon us here at the end of the week, maybe. So we're glad to get this in. But over the years, I've had some great guests and of course over 110 or 20 interviews that I've done. I've had a few people that I've had on a couple of times, and today's guest is one of those people. It's one of these people that you meet, and instantly after 10 minutes of talking to him that he is one of the kindest and nicest, most caring people that you'll ever meet. And that's our guest, Daniel Casimira. Daniel is with a great organization that is here to provide information, resources, and partnerships for those people that may have a need here in Madison County, Alabama. Daniel is the president and CEO of the United Way of Madison County. Daniel is a graduate of Roberts Wesleyan University with a degree in social work. And over the last 20 years, how I got to know Daniel is that when he was worked with the YMCA, he's worked with the United Way of Central Alabama. He's worked with Alabama A&M University here in town. He has really dedicated his professional career to giving back to others and service to others. And so I'm thankful to have my friend on today. Daniel, how are you, bud?
Fantastic, Morris. Really appreciate you having me. Appreciate more our friendship and how we've stayed connected all these years. I value that, and it's an honor just to be. You'd asked me to be part of this show again, and this is great work in our community because it could be just for anything else, but you thought enough to interview me. So I'm honored. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and I appreciate our friendship very much. I always enjoy getting you're one of those people that is very into the into the year, New Year text and other special holiday texts. You kind of send out a very thoughtful and kind text and with some inspiring words, and I always appreciate getting those. And I enjoy talking basketball. You're a big
Yeah.
We
So
enjoy talking some hoops when we see each other as well. So, folks, if you're watching the show live today, please like and share the show. If you're watching the show on a recorded fashion is how most people get the show in replay format. Like and share. And if you have a question live, put it in the feed in Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. I can get those here on my side and try to bring those up if we have time. And if you have questions and you're watching the replay on Facebook or somewhere, put it in the comments
mm,
and I'll monitor those comments. And then Daniel and I can maybe respond back to you with a link to a website or some other resource if you've got a question about something, or DM me and I can put you in touch with Daniel or somebody at the United Way that a question concern you got. But I guess I'd start with tell us a little bit about the mission of the United Way of Madison County, what that means, and kind of what think United Way of Madison County. What does that mean, you guys there?
well, no, our mission is to identify the health and human services needs in Madison County, Huntsville and Madison County, and work with our donors, our volunteers, and partner agencies to develop and implement effective strategies and solutions. That's our official mission. And one of the things we understand is those can just be words, or there actually can be action behind what we say we're going to do. So one of the things that we've really made an emphasis with United Way, especially over the last 2.5 years, is what can we do to really solve some key issues and problems in our community. We live in a great place. Madison County is fantastic. I've been a fortunate to live here since 2010. I don't see us leaving unless y'all run me out of town. But this is something that but I always stress, and as I talk with the leaders and mayors and city council people and county commission we got fantastic leaders in our community, that all of us need to benefit from this. Morris, you and I are fortunate that we're doing pretty well and we're able to, take care of our families, but there's people out there that need our support, need our help, need us to help guide and direct the services. Not necessarily a handout all the time, but a handout to help them be
Right.
successful. So one of the things that we are committed to here at the United Way is to make sure that we are our handout for folks, help them to guide them in the direction that they need to go so they can come back and not necessarily just receive services, but also be a viable citizen to help give back and help others along their pathway as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you and I share that mission in the sense that we know that when others around us thrive, we all thrive. Our community thrives. and do. And that's just a very vital part to making sure we have a very vital community, a healthy economy. All those things help instead of just, the small 1% or top 1% of our population gone, because that's how a lot of things fall through the cracks and then just deterioration. So again, not a handout, but a hand up at providing resources so people can help themselves too.
Yes.
And do. And so with that, that kind of leads me kind of where I wanted to start. And, touched on this. And for folks, if you're not from this area or not very familiar with North Alabama, Huntsville now, largest community, largest city in Alabama, one of the fastest growing cities, and at least the last 5 or 6 years, we've always been one of the top 10 places to live, raise a family, start a business, tech company, startups, all these kinds of things. But with that and a lot of the growth, if you come downtown and you've been here for a while or haven't been here in a while, you see a lot of the growth in our area, businesses, military community growing and growing here in our defense contractors. But that's going to change the needs of our community, I'm sure, Daniel. And I think one of the things that I understood from our discussion before we went live and doing a little research is you guys try to address that every few years through a community needs assessment. Tell us kind of what that is and how that comes to fruition, and what you are looking to assess and how you assess those things.
Well, let me first say that it's a research-based process in which takes about 6 months. Kathy Miller has led this process. So I think this is the third or second or third needs assessment. And what we do is every 3 to 5 years, we want to get a pulse from the community with actual surveys, task forces, focus groups, and get input from our residents that what's needed. What do they see as the top needs in our community? So as they go through the process, it's a 6 month process in which we have different communities. I think we had 15 different focus groups in multiple different communities within Huntsville, Madison, the Madison County area. We had over 1,100 surveys that were filled out. We've had a face-to-face meeting with different groups, like the faith group with 30 or so different faith groups represented. So we just go around to make sure that we can really get a true pulse from the community. So what
Right.
happens, it's all this information, over 200 data points, and the aggregated data comes together. And what it does is it's basically spits out, these are your top needs or challenges that the community is experiencing in education, financial ability, and health. So we're able to base that on, and we get three different, we have a snapshot, which comes out, which kind of gives a brief snapshot of what has come out from this report. The second
Right.
thing we have an executive summary, which is about 12 pages, which kind of goes into some details behind how they came up with this information, recognizes people who have been involved with the process. But then there's over 100 page report, 100 page report, which comes out and gives more of the details, which
Okay.
people love this information because they can actually look and see how this data makes up what the challenge, what can be challenged, but also as our nonprofits and other folks that are writing grants, they can take this information with all the data and utilize that to help get more funding for their organizations. And so it's been something that the last time we did it was 2019. And because of COVID and everything like that happened, we had to kind of hold off. So people were anticipating this. In 2024, we were able to release this report. It is on our website, UnitedWayMadisonCounty.org. But also, if you want a physical copy, we're printing off a bunch of executive summaries, snapshots, as well as the thicker ones. We only print a certain amount. So, in order to say thank you, all UnitedWayMadisonCounty.org, and we can really share information. But we're also willing to take some time out if you have some specific questions, and we can answer those questions by reaching out to us directly. But one of the things that we did this year, which is different than any time they've ever done, is we can get all this information, which is great. But what I did was I was able to get a lot of our key leaders. We had Mayor Finley, Mayor Battle, we had Commission Chair McCutcheon, we had Violet Edwards, we had City Council member Jenny Robinson, and we had John Meredith and Dr. Carr from UAH and Dr. Williams from Alabama A&M and Dr. Sutton from Educational. So we had a bunch of leaders, as some board members involved, all came together and kind of gave them, this is what the report shows right away. what are we going to do about this? Because it's easy to say we're going to roll this out to everybody, but if you get these key leaders to say, what could we do to put resources and get everyone working towards one common goal, they all came about with this. And then we talked about economics earlier. Chip Cherry was part of this group. And so we're able to kind of take all this information, meet with them, say, this is what it's looked like. And then from that, we're creating a steering committee in which we're going to meet 4 times a year from this group of individuals and say, what can we do to attack this as an entire community? Work with all the great nonprofits in the community to really work on solving these issues. So we're not duplicating services. What can we do to solve this issue? But then on top of that, what happened from that is we've got a John Maxwell Foundation, we're based in the dating stages now with them, which will do transformation tables, in which we'll talk about value-based learning, in which we're going to be doing small groups throughout the community, throughout Madison County, and they take over countries, this John Maxwell Foundation, and find out what the values are, take a few of these issues, and really try to make some significant impacts. And Desmond Tutu talks about he made a quote, talked about we need to stop going downstream and pulling people out of the water of drowning. Let's go back upstream and figure out why people are falling in. So we want to try and tackle issues. So as people are catching before they fall into the water, so we don't have to necessarily keep them from drowning all the time. So this is exciting what we're doing, and we have a kickoff for transformation tables on January 24th. And looking forward to this and just make a difference in our community.
What an amazing accomplishment to pull all this together, because there's so many resources out there, and you often wonder, are they being geared in the right direction? A lot of times, are they communicating together? Are the leaders communicating? So I love how not only are you taking a very long period of 6 month time, but this is not something pull together. You're using a lot of resources, a lot of community engagement, various formats to make sure you're getting the perspective of different people in different locations, I'm sure, in different resources. And then you're pulling that together to come up with kind of a target list of issues. And then you're saying, how can we strategically, with our local leaders and with our partner agreement, partnership agencies and resources, how can we best attack these issues as a community? You guys are kind of the hub of saying, here are the issues and doing it. And I hadn't even thought about, a lot of the federal and other grants that are out there. This kind of helps those other partnership agencies, and I'm sure y'all too, to figure out where those are, and you have some actual raw data and research to support those needs.
Yes.
That's amazing. So that kind of dovetails into the next thing that I wanted to touch on with you, that you had talked about. Salient point that you guys are focusing on now is, now you guys are in the process, if I understand correctly, Daniel, of allocation of resources. That you guys, through a committee, are looking at particular partners and agencies that are reaching out and applying, I guess, to the United Way for resources. Talk to our audience out there how that works. How do people apply? Just big picture. How do people apply, and how does that process work? And how long does that process take? And how long are the resources granted?
Great. And one of the things that the beauty of this allocation process is, as a United Way, we could go ahead and our staff team can go ahead and say, hey, listen, this agency, that agency, this agency needs to be involved with United Way. Let's move forward and make some things happen. But one of the things that the beauty of United Way is, we say, hey, we don't want to make all the decisions. We want to make sure that our community, individuals in our community have a say so in this process. So we've got about over 50 community leaders meeting right now as we speak, and they're going through a training process in which you're saying, hey, what can I do to be a part of those allocations teams? So we have teams for education, financial stability, and health. So, and these teams are led by 3 chairs. And then what they'll do is, as people apply to be United Way agency, they'll go through their financials, they'll go through their application processes, and they'll kind of have a look at it and say, hey, this is as much dollars we have that we prepare for. How do we allocate these resources towards partner agencies that are selected? So in the past 3, and one of the things United Way did well is, when this is the 3rd cycle of that, initially United Way would have agencies apply annually. So what happens, you go through the process, put all the information together, And United Way made a great decision years ago to say, let's put them on a 3-year cycle in which once you get selected as a partner agency, we have 26 currently, partner agency, you'll be vested for 3 years. Now, with that, we still have biannual reporting procedures. We make sure we're monitoring agencies through the process, but pretty much you're locked in as a partner agency, which is fantastic for those agencies who are selected because they know over the next 3 years they're still United Way agency. But also, it gives agencies that may not have gotten selected a 3-year period to say, okay, listen, what can I do to prepare for the next cycle and possibly evolve? So we're going through the whole process now. Earlier today, we had all of the partner agencies that were current and went through training with them to say, this is the application process with some new software and things. And then tomorrow, I believe we have it with anybody's interest in possibly United Way agencies. We'll have a handful of those as well. And once that situation happens, we'll make a determination usually around the May timeframe in which we'll see who's going to be selected for the next 3-year period. And so it's an exciting part because you have true community working together, different people, different levels and organizations, agencies. You have community volunteers that are all involved in this process so they can have a hand in who's going to be selected for this agency as an agency.
Curious, Daniel, and if I'm off, tell me, but does the community needs assessment play any role in that in terms of kind of saying, okay, here are the needs? I would assume it does, but I don't want to
Yeah,
say this without asking.
and because of every 3 to 5 years, what's interesting is the timing has worked out perfect because we're able to really look and identify these needs that are out there, and we create goals and plans to fulfill these needs. So it's not necessarily just random, but how do these agencies fill in to solve these community issues? So that is
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not just, it's not a shot in the dark. We're saying, well, I'm sure people need help with this.
yes.
You've put that 3-year, that assessment together and you have a real true understanding of what the needs are. And then you can assess which particular organizations that are applying for resources maybe address those needs. And then you can dive into whether they meet the requirements and qualifications to best address
And the beauty of it, back in 2010, they made a switch from just allocating dollars to agencies, and they do to programs now. So of the 26 agencies, we have 40 different programs that we support. But so it's program funding, not necessarily agency funding. So it's not just randomly throwing out, but who is tackling some of these issues and through programs to solve some of these issues, which is great.
That is great. Well, I'd love to talk a few minutes, for the last little bit we've got together, a little bit about some of the initiatives, excuse me, that y'all have and some of the newer ones I think you could share with me, as well. But the first thing that when I was doing a little research and then I explored this with you before we went live was there's one resource that I didn't realize was there, Daniel, and I've got to think that I'm not the only one. That's the 211 information and referral service. Tell everybody what that is.
Well, 211, you have, you have 411 for information, you have 911 for emergency. And then years ago, the United Way system came up with 211. And it's a 24 hour, 7-day a week call center in which, say for instance, you had a need more, say for instance, utilities were in jeopardy of getting cut off. What do I need to do? You call 201, you give them your zip code, you get the zip code out, and they'll be able to provide any aid, any organization, church, any resources that are providing utility assistance. So it saves you the headache of trying to Google, hey, who's providing assistance for utilities or rent or domestic issues or childcare. It has a variety of different things in which has almost every resource that in our community that fits what you're looking for. So it saves that legwork. And we got great call center representatives that can answer questions. They deal with different situations. They deal with some tough situations. So I'd be talking about committing suicide. So they have to walk people through that. But someone may be dealing with domestic violence situation, has to walk people through that. So they're really unsung heroes because they're dealing with these things on a day-to-day basis. But it's a key information place in which you can find out whatever you need in our community. And 211 is fantastic. I always go back to Joe Newberry, the president and CEO of Redstone Federal Credit Union. And we now named the 211 Award the Joseph H. Newberry Award. But one of the things that he does, he said, I always keep 211 cards with me. So if I run into someone saying they need some help, I'm able to give them that, because I could give them dollars, which I'm sure, as generous Joe is, I give them dollars, but I can give them a 211 card that can really help them long term and find the resources that they need to be successful.
Joseph, at least when I was going to the Y, when I got to know you, he's a 5 a.m. workout guy. And he
Yeah,
would get
he
after it.
is. Yep, yeah,
And,
yeah. And then several other folks that snuck in, snuck out, and very consistent. Him and Marie both were very, very consistent. So,
absolutely. But that is a great resource. And as I understand, before we jump into the other initiatives, that is a nationwide resource,
mhm,
right? So if somebody's watching and they have a family member or a friend or somebody in need in another part of the country, they can simply enter their zip code, and then that can pull up the resources they need. And as I saw, the website was very robust. It had all kinds of action items for, clothing, food assistance, employment assistance, so forth and so on, and and then you can enter it, and then it's going to give you those resources. That's
yeah,
tremendous. A lot of times
yeah.
things out there that you don't know is available, and
Mhm.
this guys have kind of unlocked for everybody. So let's talk about some of the newer initiatives that I know that you're passionate about and you wanted to share out and get a little bit of light on these initiatives. First one with Dolly Parton, Imagination Library. Kind of tell folks what that is.
Yeah, this is something that back in when I started here in 2022 in April, I wanted to say, what can we do to really solve some challenges in our communities? And one of the things that we've all heard that's come up is literacy, with Literacy Act and how that's expanded with third grade reading levels. With when COVID happened, development delays with children and things like that. I said, what can we do to make a difference? So I found this, came across this Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, in which it's basically in 6 countries now, and over 20. Well, Dolly Parton, as everyone knows, she's a very generous person. So in 1995, she started this Dolly Parton's Imagination Library because the smartest man she ever knew was her father, but he couldn't read. He was illiterate. So she said, I want to make sure that you take every kind of issue out for any kid to get a book a month to anybody birth to 5 years old. Look it up, receive a book a month in their mail. Now, as I said earlier, Morris, we can afford books for our kids. But what about a mother that has to pay for, or a father has to pay for uh, medications or food? And so we can take that out. But the beauty of this Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is that it doesn't matter by socioeconomic level, doesn't matter by race, doesn't matter by your zip code. Anybody can apply birth to 5. And the exciting part about it is, after 69 days, the real easy process. Go to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, get some basic information about your children, and they'll get a book a month from wherever they sign up until they're 5 years old. Now, what a great way to encourage importance of reading, parents reading their kids, and and kids getting those, developing their books, their libraries at home with no cost to them. The cost is only $26 per child per year. So back in when we started this program and came on board and officially got 23 zip codes initially, and then now we have every zip code in Madison County, there was only 723 children receiving books. Now, there's about 22,000 children that, give or take, qualify for this program because birth to 5 in Madison County. Why were we 723? Said we need to do a better job marketing it. We took it on, and within that time frame to today, we have over 7,000 children signed up for the diapers vaccine
Oh,
can come on. No cost to the parents, no cost, and it's exciting. But what we've had come along with that is literacy champions who said, "Hey, I want to invest in some young people to make sure that they get books a month." So we've had like Renaissance Bank and uh, different companies, organizations, Truist Bank, that have said, "Hey, listen, I want to get my Martin Federal." So a lot of people that have said it, they want to invest in this, which has been
yeah.
fantastic. That money goes a long way, and we're able to make sure the kids get a book a month. And so it's just been exciting to see these things happen. And it's only $26 per child per year to make sure they get a book. So we're looking to expand. We're Dolly's going to be, once every zip code in the state of Alabama is covered, which it is now, I hear. So apparently Dolly Parton is going to be coming to Alabama, and they rolled this out with the governor, and she'll come to Alabama. Hopefully she'll come to Madison County. We'd love to have her here, in which they'll do a kind of big unveiling saying this Dolly Parton's Imagination Lab right here. So we're excited about that, and always looking forward to
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. As everybody, if you watch our shows here, I'm a big supporter of education with my wife being an elementary school teacher, and pushing reading has always been big, part of her mission. And we know at my house how important that is. And I think, as you said, it's easy for somebody in my position and others like us who are fortunate to have the resources that a lot of times that we don't realize that there are other children out there and parents out there and guardians that provide those resources and
Yes.
the ability to have this and to continue that book and foster that love of reading, because that is something that can unlock the world for a child. And as you and I both know, and a lot of people watching, obviously, that you can unlock that, give them that key at that early age,
Mhm.
and do and read with them. And at about 3, 4, if they can start reading a little bit and listening, kind of following along, you may have that may
Yeah.
never have existed if they didn't have this opportunity. So that's awesome, Daniel. Talk about the next couple ones I know you wanted to mention here as we kind of get closer to wrapping up. The Young Men United.
Well, Young Men United is a program we're working with young men, 14, 18-year-olds, really die for African American young men in Lee High School, and it has some success in Lee. Brandon Gaddis is our college and career manager, has done a great job working. So he goes over to Lee High School and works with these young men and exposes them to career exploration, educational opportunities, and has been fantastic. But then it was successful. Dr. Sutton, kudos to him. He says, "Hey, how can we expand this program to other schools, our system?" So we're in Columbia now, 2 days a week, in which we have a group of young men during their free period. It's their choice to come. So during their free time, they come over and we expose them to different leaders in our community, teach them how to handle finances, go through emotional intelligence. They go through a lot of different things, and they're part of this. And it's helping them to really design what their future is going to look like. And like I said earlier, it was an African American young man, but we've got a mixed group of young men that come in now, which who want to be a part of this are in need. So we're want to make sure they're involved. And Madison County Schools wants to come on board with this next. And so it's just exciting to see these young men grow and develop, and just so many success stories. And this helped throughout the school year. And it's just been we're first city. There were 6 cities selected across 1,100 United Ways across the country, and we were one of the 6 cities that were selected.
That's awesome. Well, they're just as we were kind of saying, with regarding to the reading initiative here, we kind of sometimes may not realize the need, and that their need for positive role models,
Yes.
and that these young men have it within them, and they just need somebody to help them kind of foster it, and need a
Yes.
little guidance, and providing those resources, whether it's helping with education choices or helping with career choices or helping with just social pressures that a lot of kids have these days, and educational and job things and do. And I'd be happy if you ever had the need to have somebody come and speak or do or participate, please reach
Well,
out. I'd love to participate in doing that, Daniel,
awesome. Thank
and do. And then I think the last one you talked to me about that we wanted to touch on was, is it edX?
Yes. Yeah, edX has been, it kind of fell in our lap. LinkedIn worked out. I received a LinkedIn request from Mia Bartlett she was in Washington State. She said, "We're coming to Huntsville and we'd love to meet with you and talk to you about doing a program called edX. It's being held in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. We'd love to have you do something like that." I had no idea what it was. Well, what it does is it's 18 to 60-year-olds have an opportunity to go be in a cohort. And with the cohorts, teaching cybersecurity and data analytics. So in partnership with Drake State, right now, they basically go through a 6-month cohort. They're selected. 80 participants are selected over this cohort. They come out with a certificate of completion. And then also they have an opportunity to go for their Security Plus and other certifications and make themselves viable for these great tech jobs that are out there. We did start with data analytics and cybersecurity, but there was such a need for cybersecurity. It's just amazing to see how these people grow from, it's because it's a lot of work. It's very challenging, but it's a program in which basically $10,000 scholarship that they can go through the process. In addition to that, we provide wraparound services to avoid any kind of reason why they can't participate. So here at United Way, what we do is provide a laptop for them to use during the process. We provide if they need childcare support, if they need
Wow.
transportation. So a lot of things, just take all the barriers away from them being successful. And the success stories we've seen from this has just been fantastic. Because you might figure a person maybe working at McDonald's or Burger King or what, or just someplace like this, and go from that to having a viable career in this industry. Nothing wrong with working fast food, nothing like this, nothing like that. But just say you have a gift or want to do some things in different areas that in a fast growing um, area, this provides that service. So they go through the process, they apply, they've got, and they get selected, and then we work with them to be successful. And it's just been just a way we can help with the workforce challenges that we're experiencing in the
Yeah.
community and just providing a different change. We have people that have been in working great jobs, but said, "Hey, I want to go back and get my certificate in this and get my certifications and they
Right.
want careers." Whereas some people are coming out and said, "I'm not sure what I want to do, but I want a better life for my family." And so it's just been a great program. We're in the third year cycle, and because it's going so well, I'm creating a sustainability committee because it was a 3-year commitment from uh, to Truist Foundation and Jobs for the Future. So we're on the third year, end of a third year, and we're now looking to have some conversations possible with Calhoun and some other places to say, how can we keep this moving forward to make sure we can survive service? And one of the people that has
Awesome.
been instrumental in this is Tori Green. I'm sure you know Tori, who came to Huntsville Police Department and came to public housing, Jacksonville State Police Department, worked for Secret Service. And it's just been, we started his own Greece Research Technology company, and he's helping these students get their foot in the door and helping them along the way. And just says a lot about him. And Shelley Mitchell, when they started this company, said they want to give back to the community and providing the entry level opportunities for them.
And that's so fantastic. And it just really, excites me to hear that these great things are going on and you guys are help leading the charge for these things in our community. And what's so fantastic is everything that to me it strikes me about our conversation today is that everything is centric focused on you guys are identifying what the needs are in the community. And here it's not just we're doing job training. Here, especially in our community, with being so tech savvy and government defense contractors and other things we have here, there is a lot of a need for data security and cybersecurity stuff here. And so you've identified that need, and now you're providing a resource not only to the employer, but to the potential employee and providing them a mechanism to get them educated and qualified to do that and providing that resource. But you started with identifying the need, and then
Yes.
certainly
Yeah.
fortunate to find a partner that was kind of had the idea, but it was a perfect fit for our community.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Well, lastly, Daniel, I want to end on how can people help? Do you guys have needs for volunteer? How can folks donate? Talk to us a minute about that as we wrap up.
Yeah, we always say, we always look for people who have the time, the talent, and the treasures, and always add something to our community. You may not have the resource now to invest financially into organization. Always need more funding for the organization, not necessarily just for United Way, but the more we can do, the more money resource we have, the more we can make a difference in our community. So if you have, we'd like to make an investment into organizations and these initiatives, we have on our website, you can donate. And if you like, if something pulls your heart, said, how would I be a supporter of Dolly Parton Imagination Library? You can give that. You can give to directly to EdX or Ride United or Young Men United. Or if you said it's greatest need, there's always opportunity. And from $1 to, 50,000, whatever you want to do, it makes a significant difference. And we can say that we're definitely accountable for the dollars. Second thing is your talent, talent. You know, there's so many nonprofits in the community that are looking for good people to sit on their board of directors and be involved. And we will help you to guide the way. But also, we have through our volunteer center, we can connect your company or individuals with people that are in nonprofits that are needing the community. Stewart Center does a great job with that. So we can make that connection there for you. We take out all the legwork. We make that the marriage work and make that happen. So if you're interested in that, you can go to our website as well and just sign up and say, I want to volunteer. and be a part of that, which on the screen, which is uwmadisoncounty.org. And then if you wanted to say, hey, what can I do to give some of my time or there's some things you can do, and little things go a long way. So if you just say, hey, listen, I've got some ideas, some suggestions. So what can we do to make the community a better place? We're open to that. And there's a lot of different areas. We'll find something you plug into, and there's a lot of things that we do. And what we're grateful for is, last year we serviced over 92,000 people in Madison County, which is incredible. We look over this, or a part of the standard, which is our strategic plan, which ended 2020, ended 2025. Our goal is 110,000 people. So we want to continue to so there's always somewhere for people to plug in and make a difference. And opportunities like this, Morris, are invaluable. And we're just, thank you for having me on. And just grateful that you think enough for us to be a part of what's going on.
Well, it's my honor, and thank you, and thank you to all of your staff and all of the volunteers and all of the people on the board and all of the community partners that are willing to work together, because that's what makes a great community, and that's what makes our community a great community. Is we have a lot of people coming together for the good of the community, coming from different backgrounds, educational, socioeconomic, religion, all this, and our goal is to provide the great resources to those in our community to make our community a better place for everybody. Daniel, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Folks, again, share and like this show, and check out the website for more information. There's chock full of information there that can provide resources for those you may know that have some needs, or for those that are looking to maybe partner with the United Way and so forth and so on. Daniel, thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you.
Very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.